What's up, guys? We're here in the North American Chihuahuan Desert, the Guadalupe Mountains specifically, one of the least populated parts of the country, about to kick off a 3-day backpacking loop. Now, my goal for us here is to go all the way across the park and back. It's going to take us about 30 miles and 8,000 feet of elevation gain, and I think there may be a bit of a navigational challenge as no one really uses most of these trails. So this morning we'll pack up the tent, cross the desert, and then the first major challenge will be climbing up Bear Canyon to Hunter's Peak. Once up Bear Canyon, we'll enter the forest and start making our way along the backside of this ridgeline. That ridgeline will take us down to a four-way junction that we should be returning to, and from there we'll be heading into seldomly hiked parts of the park. This seldomly used trail should take us about 8 miles to the Dog Canyon campground, where after about 13 miles total, we'll set up camp for tonight. So let's get started. So we're starting off on the Tejas Trail, guys, and initial thoughts, I would say just in awe of these mountains rising up out of the desert. And look, it's not the first time I've seen them, but I don't know, it just gets me every time. I think it's just the unlikely nature of mountains coming up out of the flat desert. I love it. I think that's the first mountain we have to climb today. And I believe that climb begins now, as we're starting to wind our way up out of this lovely little savanna and making our way towards the mouth of Bear Canyon. That's where the real climbing is going to begin, the real struggle. But at least initially here, the trail is switching back, which makes it less steep and gives us the added benefit of seeing where we came from as well. We're really being swallowed up on both sides now by the walls of this canyon, and it's a pretty neat feeling. We made our way up the left side of the canyon, have now crossed over to the right, and the trail continues to get steeper and I would say filled with more obstacles. We're encountering multiple branching little paths through this area, but they all seem to be headed in the same direction, and it also seems pretty obvious which is the main path. The brush and branching paths are giving way to steeper trails, and Stephanie is really starting to feel it in her legs. Let's just keep putting one foot in front of the other for a few more minutes, then we can take a break. At this point I'm becoming concerned about our timeline, as we've had to take quite a few breaks. Still have a ways to go to get to the top of this Bear Canyon, and I'm concerned that we're going to arrive well after dark to Dog Canyon campground tonight. And hiking through unknown desert in the dark is not ideal, especially with the relatively rocky and loose terrain. Even in the wintertime, the grass is getting thicker, and you may notice that tall pine tree off to my left. This is one of the things I most love about the Guadalupe Mountains. Up high like this, they form this kind of separate ecosystem known as a sky island. Careful near the edge. We've almost gained the ridgeline and soon we'll be entering the forest, but first check out this view. This would be a natural place to turn around, as it's clear we're going to be hiking in the dark, but we brought headlamps and we're up for a little bit of an adventure. There's something unsettling or spooky about things that exist out of place, and I would say a forest like this is out of place in the desert. It's spooky. Check out these views from Hunter Peak. But we must head in the opposite direction, back to the forest. So after about 5 miles, we've made it to this four-way junction, and now that the sun is getting low in the sky, seems like a good time to explore about 8 miles of unknown trail. My concern is that these little downhill rocky sections are going to become very dangerous after dark.
Careful, there's a lot of loose rock through here.
We're switchbacking our way down to a series of gorges, and I'm starting to understand why we have another 1,000 feet of elevation to gain back today. We must be well above the desert still, but we've descended down into kind of a mid-elevation bowl, and now it looks like we're going to be tracking this dry creek bed for a while. This is pretty common in the Sky Islands. You walk along these washes, as people call them. Well, the good news is we've navigated a series of wash crossings that would have been tricky after dark. The bad news is it's 5:10 p.m. and the sun sets at 5:10 p.m. So we're going to have to move pretty quickly here to try and make up some ground before it gets fully dark. Well, the sun is pretty much set here in the Guadalupe Mountains, and got about 5 miles to go, so we'll be breaking out the headlamps here soon. This band of trees is an example of a draw. These low points tend to accumulate water, and so it can be a good place to look in an emergency. But if you're trying to cross, you'd be better off side hilling over here, as crossing a draw without a trail is very time consuming. I hope you're not afraid of the dark. I'll turn this lamp on just in case. Now you can see everything I need you to see. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Walk with me.
Well, it's gotten fully dark, and I was hoping to show you guys that transition and turning the headlamp on, but it got really cold and my camera started malfunctioning, and I wasn't able to record any of it getting dark, so this will just have to do. Guys, we've descended down to Dog Canyon Campground. It's completely empty and completely dark, but still a welcome sight. We're going to find our spot and pitch up the tent and get some food going.
I started the timer.
It's very cold in these mountains in the winter time. A little bit envious of Stephanie's warm meal, but my trail oatmeal packs a ton of energy. Can't go wrong with it. One of the advantages of this big 105-liter pack is I can pretty much bring as much sleeping stuff as I want. Didn't fully take advantage of it this time though. Brought a folding accordion style sleeping pad, one blanket, and then a sleeping bag, but I normally would like to have multiple blankets. Oh, it's heated. That's nice.
Not Short King approved.
Yeah, it's up there. They really have it heated. Not sure how they're doing that, but cool.
Maybe it's to prevent the pipes from freezing.
I have been struggling with this for some time. I feel absolutely no fear, and I'm just fascinated whenever I encounter mountain lions. And I thought it was because I'm just a fearless kind of guy, but this sign explains it. Thanks for tagging along today, guys. If you liked the video, consider liking the video and subscribe to see day 2.